Welcome back to another episode of Iron Towns Engineering. On this episode, we're actually going to be doing what we said we were going to do in the last video. We are going to put all the headstock and stuff like that back in the bop, and we are going to actually lower it on in its standard form, not in the failed zoomer frame like we were trying to do last time. So let's get that headstock in the standard frame and see where we are on actually lowering it as is. So we've just put the lowered headstock back on there, and it actually looks half decent. Like I say, it really needs to come back down a bit, but when I sit on it, it does drop down quite a bit. So what we've done was, when we sat on it and it dropped down, I took a measurement. So what we're going to do is take this shock to work and make a solid shock, basically, which is 22 centimeters. This one's about 26 centre to centre. So if we do one for 22, that should give me the same amount of drop it has when you sit on it. So let's go make one of them at work and see if we get that lowered equally. Right, so it's Christmas time at the factory, which means that things are starting to wind down a bit here. So I've had some time basically to start doing this shock. So this is basically the old shock that we got, and what we're going to do is replace it with a lovely lump of stainless steel bar. Solid bar. I don't think that will be bending anytime soon, so we've got to shorten this up, because from point to point we want 22 centimeters, which is how much I measured the drop. So we've already made these bits, which is going to be this top. So we've got push fit brass insert, so it'll act like a bearing, and then this will be welded to the top here. And then we're now going to start making this bit here. So we've got 3 bits of stainless, because I couldn't be naffed working out how to bend that and doing it all and all that, so I've just cut these 3 bits of stainless. So what we're going to do is basically going to make it like that, and then we're going to put a spacer in the middle of it and then drill it straight through, so I know exactly that they are in line. Because if I do it beforehand, drill these and then try and put this together, I can guarantee you something will be skewy. I have just noticed as well that this has a female thread on the back of it, so we're going to have to weld a nut or something on the back of one of these when we drill it. So let's get to making that. Right, so all parts are now done, ready to be welded. So we've got this. That is the bushing for the top, and then we've got the bar, which will trim down once that one's welded on the top there, and then we've got this stainless version of the bottom. So that'll go on there like that, but it'll be up about here. So we just got to chop this about. We've got to weld this on top of here now, then chop this about, weld that on there, and then we also need to weld this nut onto here somewhere, because in this one it's got a captive bit on the back of it. So let's go weld that up. Alright, so we just got the brass pushing in and it's all welded up on the top. So now we can measure from here to the hole on here because we want this 22 centimeters. So we are looking at about, Jesus, pretty much there actually. So there, so that whole centre to that whole centre, 22 centimeters. So we'll mark that off there, get it cut, and then weld the bottom onto it as well. And there we have it, one lockout bar. So I want it 22 centimeters, it is 22 centimeters, which is a centre to centre, which is shorter than the standard one. And then the second you sit on the standard one, it compresses up. So yeah, let's get that back now and get that all fitted to the bop and see if it sits the way I want it to. If not, I'll be cutting it in half and making it adjustable. So this is how low we've got it to sit at the minute, which I don't think is that bad. It's still got workable ground clearance, but it is quite low. But I'm just still sat here thinking, oh, should we just get it lower? So we've got like another inch we can go on the forks basically before they bottom out and then pretty much become useless. But they don't need to have a use; they just need to be low, if you know what I'm saying. It's never going to be used as a fucking grocery getter or anything like that ever again. It's just going to be used as a fun little scoop, so it doesn't need to be practical. So that's not the end of the world. So I can drop that down at the front by like another inch and then potentially obviously do the back by another inch. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take that lockout bar back out and let the rear just sag down like as much as possible, because then I can just kind of get an idea on how low is too low kind of thing. Right, so I think it's safe to say I want this. I want that. So yeah, and it's still got the workable ground clearance and the cage will be completely gone, so there's literally nothing catching the rear wheel. Nothing catching the engine, nothing catching the rear wheel, and the suspension won't move, so when my weight is on it, it won't get any lower. So I think this is what we're going to have to go for. Yeah, we're going to have to go for this. So, we'll take the measurement again from centre to centre, these two, and then we'll take this back to work and we'll chop it down and weld it back together. So it's as low as this.
A few moments later.
So we took it to work and we took off 4 centimeters from this, so 40 mil. As you can see, it's a lot shorter than the standard shock. So let's put it on now and see if we can still achieve this ride height. Well, it's looking like we got the ride height that we wanted. So we've got it all quite nice and low to the ground without actually, like, well, I say compromising the suspension. It pretty much has no suspension now. Lowered the front so much that basically there's no travel in the shocks whatsoever. And it's obviously got the fixed bar on the back, so there is actually no suspension on the back other than the spring in the engine there, which is pretty much maxed out. So we've got it to sit how we want. What's next, I hear you ask? Well, we've got to basically take all the good parts off both of them and restore it. So I'm talking, we've got to take the wheels off and refresh them, as in like actually paint them and all that, get new tires, do new plastics, or get the plastics all resorted, get all the paintwork sorted. Seat on that one is actually quite good. Get all the handlebars sorted, any chrome that's ruined, we're just gonna have to take it off and paint it silver because we can't get decent chrome in the UK. But we're just gonna have to overhaul the whole thing. Engine probably needs a rebuild too. So we've got this engine here, which I told was a good one, but obviously it's in pieces. We've got all the pieces, I think. So we're gonna have to go through that and make sure that that's all right. If not, we have got the other engine on the yellow one over there. But that is a little bit more worse for wear, so that will be requiring a rebuild anyway. So we are gonna have to start doing that. But now we've got the thing actually sitting, that's the end of this episode of Iron Tans Engineering, because we're going to try and do these in bite-sized chunks so that obviously people don't get bored by a 20-minute video of me restoring the whole thing. So anyway, once again guys, cheers for watching this episode of Iron Tans Engineering. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff, because it actually really helps the channel out. I didn't actually realise how much all that stuff helps the channel out, but yeah, if you could do that, that'd be magic. But anyway, cheers for watching guys. I'll see you again on the next one. See ya.